Hey everyone, just wanted to give a shout out to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Today I'm going to show you how to find Fatwood and show you what an excellent resource it is as a survival tool and a fire starter. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and it's late fall. Winter is right on the brink here, and everything is soaked this time of year, plus it rained all day. So if you need to light a fire, Fatwood is an amazing resource. Now, how do you find it? What is Fatwood? Look for a pine tree, and if the pine tree is fallen down or is dead, go for those low dead branches. Those are going to be the easiest thing. What happens is when they die, all the sap and the resin runs down towards the base of the branch or the base of the tree, and all that sap inside is highly flammable material. The tree itself will be a good resource, but often the tree is huge and you don't necessarily have to go to all that effort. What happens with the Fatwood is that because it's inside the base of the branch or the base of the tree, it's protected from the rain. And even if there's a little bit of moisture in there, it's so heavily soaked with the flammable sap that it'll be able to take a spark and get you a fire going. So let's go out and try to find some of that and see if we can get it going with fire steel and get a fire going. This is a red pine tree, and we had a storm come through here last year and it took down quite a few trees. The whole tree has snapped and come down, and so that's going to be an excellent source for us to look for Fatwood. This is a great survival skill to know, because sometimes you'll get caught in a really tough situation where you just, can't get a fire going and you need a little fuel. And this is a natural flammable fuel. Two branches here. There's one of them that has the bark missing, one of them that doesn't. I'm gonna take both, because the one that has the bark missing died before the tree fell down, and it might have a higher density of Fatwood in it. So here's the two branches I cut off. If you see in this branch, this is the one that had no bark. So died before the tree fell. See how it looks wet? It looks damp. This dead branch actually looks like it has a higher density of Fatwood in it, or resin in it. You can see it sort of coming in here, and it's this thick, almost yellowish look to it. And this one's still got quite a bit in it. But the dead branch looks like it has more Fatwood in it. Right here, I really see a lot. I'm going to show you how a different piece of wood looks from the same tree in comparison to these pieces. So this is the branch, and this is the piece I cut near the base, and this is the other dead branch I cut near the base. So if you notice, in this piece, it's super white. That indicates that the Fatwood, the resin, hasn't run down into this section of the branch. So that's why you want to actually look for this color. That's indicating the resin in it. That is just resin soaked. A great piece of Fatwood there. And even though they're damp, you can feel this one actually feels drier. So a good piece of firewood, but not a good piece of Fatwood. So at first glance, you might think, oh geez, that's a soaked piece of wood. That's no good. But that's what you want to go for. Let's give this a try. So I've just got a little rock here as a platform. As you can see, it's soaked. But I'm not concerned about that because of the quality of what Fatwood is. I'm really excited about this dead branch piece. It looks like it has a high density of Fatwood. So what you want to do is essentially you want to create some shavings from this. A saw creates sawdust, and I find that that's actually an excellent way to do it. You can use your knife and shave, but if you have a saw or a multi-tool that has a saw on it, it's a good way to get a fine ground sawdust that's enriched with sap resin. So that's what we're going to do here. So I've made my little pile of sawdust, and that's going to be enriched with the sap. It'll allow you, even after it's been raining all freaking day for a week, it's going to take a spark or a flame very easily. It's kept inside the base of that pine branch, and it is ready to go. It is an excellent survival skill to know, and it's actually quite easy to source and quite easy to utilize. So once you get that going, then you'll be able to add more things that are wet and get those going because you'll have a flame. So let's put a fire striker to this and see what happens. I'm going to use a little survival necklace fire steel. It is not as good as a big fire steel, but if you're in a pinch, you just pull it off, and essentially it's a striker on the end and a little fire steel ferrocerium rod, and it's harder to get a fire going with because it's so little, but that's what I'm going to use. I'm pretty confident it's going to work. If you're in a pinch, it's better than nothing. There we go. Fatwood, baby. Look at that. Now you can add your secondary tinder. See how well it's burning? And this birch bark, even in the flame, didn't take too quickly because it's so wet from the rain. You won't get that with regular sawdust. Now, the other awesome thing about this is I've got this huge piece of Fatwood, and you know, I can put it in my pack and bring it with me and use it over and over and over again. Now, one of the things that you know, it's good if you want it to last longer and longer, you use your knife and you shave a bit, and that way you won't compromise it as much. But often, you know, you don't necessarily need to use it over and over. You just want to get a fire going now. So in that case, the saw works really well to get that sawdust that will take a spark faster, or a match, or whatever you need. It will work very quickly and very effectively. And then you can pop this in your pack and use it again later. If you look at this piece, it's not up until here, further up the piece, that you start getting that lighter unresin soaked section. If you see this outside edge here that looks wet, that's all pine sap and really highly flammable. If you look at the lower section that was closer to the tree, there's no white in there. It is all just resin soaked, excellent source of Fatwood. So now I can put this in my pack and take it with me, just to give you an idea of how good this stuff works. Here's a lighter. Look at that. Pretty sweet. And like, look, I'm patting it out. It's like I gotta work to make it go out. Smells amazing too. And that's how you find Fatwood and get a fire going with Fatwood. Amazing survival skill to know. It's a simple one, but it might save your butt.
Bella, you know Fatwood? Fatwood?
I just wanted to talk a little bit about Squarespace. What is Squarespace? Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create your website. Now, I love this part because it takes a lot of the guesswork out. Present your travel photos using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs. It's pretty cool that you can display your projects in customizable galleries. And this is a good one. Password protected pages to share your private work with your clients. I thought this was pretty cool too. Squarespace can authenticate your social profiles. This is pretty cool because it lets you auto post your content to Twitter, Facebook, personal or brand page, or Tumblr. Another big one. All post entries and images are optimized and tagged properly, so descriptions and titles will be correctly referenced. I mean, that's a big one. I'm glad they got that figured out. Some of the analytics are pretty sweet, which will help you with your business. See how your visits, unique visitors, and page views trend over time. It'll help you gain insights into your top traffic sources, products, device types, browsers, and operating systems by visits. That kind of information can help a lot in knowing which way to steer more of your energy. I'm pretty impressed with Squarespace. It's awesome. There's a service like this now that takes a lot of the guesswork out and does a lot of that time-consuming work for you. So all you got to do is go to squarespace.com for your free trial. Then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Ted Baird to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All right, everyone, catch you on the next adventure.